Hey everyone, it's Ron Milligan with Remax Select here, coming to you with a couple of things this week. Of course, I have my typical market statistics, the weekly market update, but I also have some home price forecasts for next year, for 2022, actually this year. So let's start with the weekly numbers. Not a big surprise. The numbers were kind of low this last week. I feel like buyers and sellers were taking a break from real estate. It was looking more like a normal winter holiday month for us, like December typically is. The number of homes sold was 508 previous week. That week of Christmas, it was 588, and those are pretty small numbers for what we've been experiencing for most of the year. Number of active listings was down about 9%, and the number of pending deals, the total number of pending deals, was down around 8%. And that's been following suit with what we've been seeing. Buyers are taking a break, but not as much as sellers are. The inventory is certainly shrinking, and we have considerably less inventory of active listings this year than we had for the same time last year. Number of active listings, new listings that hit the market was really, really low. And in fact, it was probably lower than what it looks like. The number that we saw, mainly because we crossed over into 2022, and a lot of what happens at this time of year is any agents that have active listings will often cancel the listing on January 1st and then relist it as if it's a brand new listing in order to get a brand new 2022 MLS number. So the first two digits of the MLS number for a listing start with the year that it was listed. So they're going to get rid of that old listing, the 2021 listing, and list it so that it has a brand new 2022 number at the very beginning of the MLS number. So that way, when it pops up again as a new active listing, it may actually be an old listing just being relisted to get a new MLS number. The average days on market went up to 30 days. Median days on market went up to 12. Last year, the same week, it was 33 and 12 as well. Average sale price this last week was $555,831 versus the same week last year, $512,249. That's an increase of around 8.5%. However, that's a small sample. Those numbers can be real volatile because we can have a few big transactions that will close and kind of skew the numbers up one week and then down the next week. If we're talking about our year-over-year average sale price, increase in the average sale price, we're tracking where we're probably going to land just shy of 16%. So that's comparing the first 12 months, well, all 12 months of 2020 to all 12 months of 2021. In November, when we're comparing the first 11 of each of those years, the number was 16.1. That number's been being pulled down, so I think we're going to end the year at probably just shy of 16%. That brings us to our home price forecast for 2022. I saw a survey of some of the bigger players in that arena. Fannie Mae came in at 7.4%. Their anticipation, their prediction or forecast, comparing all 12 months of 2022 to all 12 months of 2021, they suspect or expect that the average sale price is going to be 7.4% higher. Freddie Mac came in at 7%. Mortgage Brokers Association came in at 5.2%. HPES, which is the Home Price Expectation Survey, that's a survey of like 100 plus economists and what they think is going to happen. That came in at 5.1%. Zelman and Associates, Ivy Zelman, who is someone I watch very carefully and very closely, she gets a lot of things right that other folks don't get right, but she also tends to be very conservative and does spend time adjusting her predictions up. And she came in at 3%. And then the big surprise was NAR, the National Association of Realtors, came in with a forecast of 2.8% increase in 2022. Normally, NAR tends to be kind of optimistic, but for some reason, they're not this go around. So the average of those was around 5.1%. Keep in mind, these are all national numbers. These are not Oregon numbers, and they're certainly not Portland numbers. Portland will probably be higher than that. I suspect that this year, the average sale price increase nationally is probably going to be around, 12, 13%, depending on who you ask and who does the numbers nationally. For RMLS, for the Portland metro area, it's probably going to be, as I mentioned, just shy of 16%, a little bit higher. I think probably the reason for that is some of those crazy cities that were overheating, like Austin and Boise, have really slowed down, and those are for reasons that are specifically happening in their markets. Some of the market factors that we see in what we call the smile states, Georgia, Florida, Texas, Arizona, Nevada to some extent, what's fueling their markets and may cause their markets to significantly slow down isn't necessarily active in the Portland metro area. So I suspect that we'll probably, whatever we have for a national number, we're going to be a little bit higher for the Portland metro area. But that brings me to my biggest point, which I make every week at the end of these videos. All real estate is local, so if you're curious about what's going on in your neck of the woods, in your municipality, your neighborhood, your complex, your subdivision, just feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to share that information with you. All right, we'll see you next week.